Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Gift of Gaming podcast. We're approaching Christmas time. I'm very excited. But on the Gift of Gaming podcast, we're all about video games. We'll talk you through the ins and outs of all things video games and the video gaming industry. Now, if you love talking to your friends about video games but find that they've gotten a little bit boring or stale of late, well, why not talk to some new friends, like me, your host, Darren Wade, joined today by my good pals, who could also be your friends to talk about video games with, Mr. Xbox Game Pass himself, Luke Maycock. Luke, how you doing?
I'm not too bad, Darren.
Keeping well?
Oh, keeping great. Great. Excited to talk some Christmassy stuff today.
Christmassy. It is approaching Christmas. Ooh. And our other friend, joining with the podcast for the first time, Mr. Craig, the Critical Nolan. Craig, how are you?
I'm pretty good, Darren. Thanks for having me on.
No, my pleasure. My pleasure. I hope you guys are having a nice time there. See what I did there?
Okay, thanks for joining us with the Gift of Gaming podcast. That was episode 3. We'll be back next week.
Darren's been fired. He's been fired.
Executive reshuffle.
So I guess as we did last week, I'd ask Craig, because we haven't had a chance to talk to you.
Okay.
What games are you playing currently, Craig? What's on your to-do list? What are you loving right now?
I thought you might ask me that question, which is why I didn't put any of tonight's gaming choices on my little list. So what I was playing recently was the new Pokemon Scarlet.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I heard a couple of you talking about it last week and how it's not very good, but does a lot of things right. Well, I was playing it till about last week, and then I just had to put it away, and I don't think I'll ever touch it again, that type of thing.
So would you consider it a success or a failure?
I think it's an enjoyable experience for someone like me who always thought 150 wasn't enough, and Pokemon that you could get in your earlier game, say, like, you could never beat Brock with, like, a Dragonite or anything. Like, that was impossible. You could only ever get, say, a Dratini, like, late in the game. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the Pokemon, I always felt it was kind of annoying because you couldn't have them in your top 6 because it was always post-game you got them. Yeah. Whereas I like to be one of those type of people who had a very different type of top 6 at the very beginning, from someone else. Because you fight your rival and like 3 out of your 5 Pokemon are identical to his. And that always annoyed me. I'm just like, you go into a gym and everyone's using the exact same type of Pokemon. Okay. So in this game, that doesn't happen because there's 400. And I think it does a good job with the variety and like how many there are. But all the type of things it did new, like there's a new mechanic where at any point you can press the R button and whatever Pokemon you have at the head of your party will just immediately come out and run forward and attack whatever Pokemon is in front of you. Mm-hmm. But if you're on any sort of slanty hill or any completely plain ground, that Pokemon will just immediately stop and then just look around clueless, so there's a lot of mechanics, but none of them done well.
Was that a game breaker for you?
No, that wasn't a game breaker. In fact, I played the whole thing, but the visuals, when you compare it to, say, Breath of the Wild, which was a launch game on the Switch, and this comes out 5 years later, they've no excuse. But Game Freak, aside from Pokemon Gold and Silver, I think it's just been downhill every single time. Whereas this one was all right, but just not quite up there with what I was expecting.
You put it on recently onto the TV. You got an amazing TV in your apartment, and you put it on that TV.
That didn't do the game a good service at all.
Having a good TV is bad for that game.
I could just see all the faults,
Yeah, and I'm. Like, we talked to Chris about this before, Luke, about having, Vampire Survivors and maybe graphics aren't everything.
But sometimes graphics are what you care about. Like, what have people been saying since Red and Blue? Oh, imagine that it was on a home console. That's like the one thing everyone's been saying. Yeah. And now it is, and it's a 3DS slight upgrade.
It's strange how, I really try and be optimistic about these things, and like, basically be an apologist for the studios because I want to be hopeful about the series, but it's strange how disappointing it is. In 2022 we have the big current gen console game, and it's like,
and what made me kind of realize that I wouldn't say it's going backwards, I think it's going forwards, but very much at a snail's pace.
At a snail's pace. Like, they always introduce a new mechanic in each game, and it's like one or two, and they'll take away a couple as well, and so you never really get it evolving. Like,
is Pokemon marketed to me, a 31-year-old male? I don't know exactly, but I played through Sword was the last one I played through, and I have never felt like such a toddler playing, like, in terms of
Yeah.
like the hand holding
Yeah,
that
yeah.
goes on. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is way too easy.
I mean, it is. I
There's-
mean, their target audience, I guess, has always been like young kids and
Yeah.
teenagers, but
And it's
they
such a-
must understand that there are people who've been playing Red and Blue since
it came
they
out.
were a kid
Yeah.
and are still loyal fans to this
Yeah.
day, but they just do not care about those people.
There is a game for that market, and it's, I don't know if this ever crossed your radar, but it was Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee.
Because that was a remake of the
You're
original
saying
Red
that's
and Blue, right?
not a hand-holding game?
No, it is
You couldn't
not
even
a
catch Pokemon in that game.
It is not a hand-holding game. It is a beautifully crafted, like, fan service. The people who made that game loved the originals as much as you and me, and you play all the way through that game, and it is just so lovely and fun, and you can do so much more in it than you ever expect. I played the demo of it, and I thought immediately, I was like, this is a dumb cash-in game for babies. I'm sick of it. And it was like months later, I heard someone talk about it as being the best Pokemon game that's come out recently, and I was like, that's BS. I can't. That's so stupid. And I gave it a go, and
you loved it, yeah?
I
Yeah.
loved.
All right, maybe
it.
I'll give it a go,
Maybe there's
just
hope.
so I can come back next week and chill all over you. Like.
And there's give it a go. There's what's it called, like New Game Plus kind of style, not New Game Plus, but like post game kind of material in it, where you can become a master of a Pokemon. So it's like, oh, I think my Charizard's pretty sick. I'm the Charizard master of this region, right? And it's like, no, actually, the Charizard master is over there. Do you want to go fight your Charizard against his? And you do, and you're like, oh, I'm going to kick his ass. And your Charizard's at the same level, and his destroys you. And it's like, wait, how is his
It's nice
so
for a
much
Pokemon
stronger?
game to introduce like end game boss material in a classic RPG style.
I
like that.
assume you didn't IV or EV train your Charizard.
I had to.
Amateur over here. Man.
They do
I don't even know what that means.
I knew you wouldn't.
they do throw a lot of that stuff at you. Like, it's a lot more generous in the game, and I'm going through the game and I'm using those items, like, kind of not dedicatedly, but it's not until I get to the end of the game where I'm like, oh, they have souped up Charizards and Onyxes and stuff, and you can ride every Pokemon in the game, which is so much cooler than you think it's gonna be.
Yeah, just like
It's sick.
That is pretty cool, like,
Yeah.
because it reminds you of that episode where Ash was like riding the Ponyta in,
Yeah.
in the TV
In the-
series,
like in
and
the
all the other
intro?
Pokemon
Yeah,
were
yeah.
racing each
You
other,
can ride-
exactly like in the
Yeah.
intro. We're all waiting for that episode to
I
show
know,
up.
yeah.
You can ride a Ponyta, you can ride an Arcanine. I fly over buildings on my Charizard.
That's so
you can
cool.
ride an Onyx, and it is at the size an Onyx should be, and you're like coming off the top of the screen.
And that one kind of went, and I'm not going to say it went under the radar because, like, commercially, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee was very successful.
I'd say it was, yeah.
But I think for me, and again, as a
But still just a third remake of
of
the
yeah,
same
of
games.
what was what they're still kind of living off essentially,
Yeah.
you know, in the originals.
But a lot of love into it. I do. It is a bit of a sleeper hit, I think, for our age bracket.
So that's the thing. It's like our age now. They never do it because Game Freak is such a small studio, and they have to keep because you know they are one of the highest grossing. I mean, Pokemon is the highest grossing.
Probably
piece
highest grossing franchises of all time.
of all time.
Like making
So-
billions.
So, and they are doing that because they're targeting kids. But I would love, and I mean, I don't mean targeting kids in an aggressive way. I mean, hey, this is for you guys type thing. But I mean, for us, I would love a real dark
I know,
Pokemon
it would be
story. Like, and-
fantastic.
yeah, but it's ever gonna. I mean, maybe for Christmas. Speaking of Christmas, here's the segue. This episode's about Christmas.
Christmas.
Sorry, I spent way too much time.
No,
on
that's
that.
okay.
No,
That's fun.
that's all good. So we thought today's episode, it being a couple of days till Christmas, it'd be nice to talk about the games that we loved either playing at Christmas or had kind of like strong Christmas themes that reminded us of that time of year and everything. So, Luke, I'm going to paint you a little picture here, okay?
Ooh.
You're little Luke. You know, you're waking up, you're putting on your slippers and your dressing gown. It's Christmas morning.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, hope Santa came last night. Like, you're so excited. You've got the holidays all planned. Now, maybe there's a game underneath the Christmas tree, or maybe you already have a game that you can't wait to play for your holidays, and no one's going to bother you. You're off school. There's no homework. School's out. So, Luke, what game is it that's waiting for you at the bottom of the stairs? Or games, I don't mean to limit you, but what games were you, even in recent times, most excited to play at Christmas time?
In recent times, because you just painted me a whole word canvas that threw me back to my childhood, and I was like, I can't wait to play Spyro the Dragon.
Like, that's you know, that's what we're here to talk about. Like, you know, people's Christmas games. You know,
I mean, you gave us a big breakdown there of like the scenarios, but your text from last week was like Christmas games, go. So I have no idea what Luke's going to say or how he's going to critique this.
I don't like to create boxes. You know, you think freely. I'll just give you a couple of words.
He doesn't want to clip our creative wings.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah, no, wow, God, that immediately brought me back to being a kid, and I got Spyro the Dragon with the PlayStation 1, and I was so excited about it for months beforehand. Like, I convinced my mom to buy me like a video game magazine at the time, and it had clips from Spyro in it, and it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my life. And I got it on Christmas Day, and it was everything I dreamed of. And I've had fun with that game ever since. I played the Reignited trilogy, and I've never played Spyro 3, but I played 1 and 2 like religiously. I got 100% at both of them. I actually think I did that last Christmas. I forgot about that.
I do remember being at your house when we were younger, and us trying to. Do you remember? I think it was Spyro 1. I can't remember what they were called. They were kind of like they're in these cloaks and kind of had a funny hat, but they were really, really fast. And you had to charge run after them to like get a jewel or something from them.
There
like
was
you knocked them, but you had to catch up with them. They were on a specific track. And it was obviously about learning the track and beating them at that race. And you could knock the jewel out of their hands and take it. I remember spending so long as a kid in your house trying to crack that code.
Yeah, they're egg thieves, and
that's what it was.
They go nah 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 nah.
That's it.
And then you chase them around. Yeah, no, it's so great. That brings me way back. Spyro. Yeah, I forgot I'd played the Reignited trilogy until like I just started talking about Spyro there. But I played that last Christmas. Spyro 1 and 2, 100% at both of them, and I was like, oh, that was great.
Was that like a remaster for the Xbox or something like that?
Yeah, it's technically a remake, I guess, because they would have had to redo the whole game engine for.
It came out not long after the Crash Bandicoot
remake,
trilogy that they did for Crash Bandicoot as well. So they were kind
one
of
was a success, and it was like, okay, we have to jump on that.
Yeah, just
is it the same studio? Do both?
It would. I actually don't know. I'm not sure because I didn't give the Crash games a go. I'd heard like really intense things about them because they redid. Because they were also remakes where they remodeled every aspect of the game, so it was like updated for 4K, and like all the boxes had really specific hit boxes that were really unforgiving. This is the Crash games I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
But no, I'm not sure if they're the same studio, but no, Spyro, those Reignited games were so much fun, really faithful to the original, really lovely, gorgeous to play.
That art style as a kid is just aesthetically very easy on the eye. Spyro was just like colourful.
It was, yeah.
I mean, like, I can soak that up all day.
You look at Spyro and go, he would have made a great Smash character. It just suits the mold, which is rare for like a PlayStation mascot. They usually look like realistic and crap. They're just not built that way.
They did, in the later generations. I think PlayStation kind of tried to stay away from having mascots in the early era. Like a lot of magazines and publications champion mascots on PlayStation's behalf. PlayStation never marched out like themselves.
Here's our Mario.
Crash Bandicoot is our Mario. Spyro is our Mario. They were like, no, we're going to have everything. We're going to have everything you could possibly dream of. That was kind of their thrust back in the 90s, which is kind of cool to think about. Sorry, I'm getting way off topic here.
No, that's quite interesting. Like, I never knew Sony ever thought that way. But it would explain why their PlayStation All-Stars was so terrible.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because they didn't have any center fault. Yeah, no, they got so many small game studios making games for the PlayStation 1, and that's why PlayStation 1 and PS2 have so many titles. Yeah, like that back catalog is huge.
The library is insane, especially on PS1.
It's not like shovelware either. Like I'm sure some of it is shovelware, but like...
No, but I remember, like, and even now, I mean, look back in the day when we were trying to launch this podcast like 6-7 years ago, we were like researching certain topics we wanted to talk about, and we did like the PS2. The PS2's life cycle and game catalog is absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Possibly, and we'll probably do another episode of this, but like possibly one of the best consoles going. Debatable. I don't
Which
know.
one? Sorry,
PlayStation 2.
2 or
yes,
what?
Okay.
Two.
Because it was fully like it wasn't even a question as to whether it would be backwards compatible. So you had the PS2 library went on for years and years and years, even past the release of the PS3. And all that time you had since 1990 whatever when the PlayStation 1 came out, you had all those games that worked on this one machine.
I think as nostalgic sound effects go, the one that's really stuck in my brain is the opening, like when you turn on the PlayStation 2, that sound effect is just way more familiar to me than any of the other
I can
consoles,
understand that. So you guys are like a few years younger than me, so for me it would be probably the N64, because I always associate that PlayStation sound on the PS1 as just being another reason why the Nintendo was better, because I had to wait about 60 seconds for that screen to be over just so I could start loading up the game, never mind playing the game. N64, turn on within 10 seconds you're playing. PS1, that sound for me was always like, okay,
I've got to wait.
Yeah, loading discs, here you go.
I will touch on one more thing before we move on here, if that's okay.
Of course.
So one of the things I do, just because I think I'm an old bastard now, is I love going back and playing retro games. Like I actually today I received my copies of fan translations of Mother 1 through 3 or Earthbound 1 through 3 for the Game Boy Advance, which I plugged in.
Wow. No, it even came out for those.
Yeah, no, Earthbound 1 and 2 came out. There were Game Boy Advance ports, I think, outside of Japan. But anyway, someone rewrote all the text in the game and flashed it to Game Boy cartridges. So I have English versions of those games now on the cartridges.
Nice.
Started playing that, super fun. That's something I love to do around Christmas. And one of the things I got turned on to recently is a little gadget, little device called a Miu Mini. And it's basically a little emulation console, and there's loads of really cool ones out there. But the Miu Mini can play everything from NES era up to PlayStation 1. And so I can have, and it's all off an SD card. It's all like ROMs and stuff. So none of the games come with it. You have to find your own ROMs.
Lucas, it's legal.
Acquire them, acquire experimental software for creative purposes.
Of course. Yeah.
Dating back to NES era, it's just coincidentally, all the way up to PlayStation. And you can have like everything from, you're going to hate this, the only console that they don't have around that era is the N64.
Of course.
Because it's basically like a Game Boy with 2 extra buttons is the form factor of it. Mm-hmm. But that's good enough for PlayStation because you just need the D-pad and then 4 buttons and a start and a select, and that's enough for PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
And so from PlayStation 1 all the way back to NES, you can emulate every single game on it, and I'm so excited to get my hands on one of these. It's going to be sick. So I love doing that around Christmas these days.
You're like a bit of a retro gamer at Christmas time. You're like hitting up the old things, like old things that you played before or things that you never got the chance to play.
I love experiencing things I never got a chance to play. There's a couple of I've become a huge weeb otaku in recent months, and I'm becoming obsessed with Japan slowly. This is a late thing in my life for me, but I'm finding all these games that never came out outside of Japan, and the idea of being able to emulate all of them on the one little device and flick between games, I'd love to spend my Christmas doing that this year.
Yeah, that'd be swell. Okay, so you've got Spyro, some retro games. Anything else from your so the retro gaming thing is a bit more of a recent thing for you. Mm-hmm. Spyro would be your kind of childhood memories. Any other games that you were like big into at Christmas time?
Yeah, I kind of this is a tiny bit of an insight into just how my brain works, but I love, or rather just my brain naturally tends to obsess over things, like just focus on, if there's a to-do list to do, I want to clear out everything on that list, like every single thing.
Man, it's the only way to be when it comes to games.
A to-do list, like in-game to-do list, or one you create yourself?
In-game to-do list. Sometimes it's stuff I create myself that I just deem as important, and I just go through it, and it's not necessarily judging by so like, for example, I spoke last week, I'm playing Cyberpunk at the moment.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I've beat every side quest, every job, every gig.
So not fun.
60 hours.
Are you like an achievement tour as well?
No, I don't care about achievements at all.
Okay, right.
But I've done every side quest just because I was like, well, there's like 7 different crime bosses and they have between 5 and 20 something.
I know, but do you not hate the game now?
No, I don't have. I actually don't have a ton of drive to plow on with the main quest, which is what I was loving the most.
I know, but that's what it does to you.
Yeah, it kind of saps it. But I would spend Christmases doing that. So like, you could talk about like your Far Cries, just every outpost. I sat down with a Far Cry game, like the most recent one I enjoyed was actually Far Cry 4, which was a while ago. But Far Cry 3, amazing game. Sit down with that, look at the map, see a bunch of outposts around me, go and see how they're designed. Like, it's something about like figuring out how the levels were put together and what the smartest way is to attack this outpost. And I just do that on loop for hours. And
but it's a nice way to get bang for your buck. Do you know what I mean? Really soak up the world that they've made, you know?
Yeah.
One of the things that always got me playing through Red Dead Redemption 2 as a video game was that there was so much stuff in that game that they designed and voice acted and created that you could just completely miss. You could just leave it all behind.
There were so many moments in that game, especially after a big mission and there was a party sequence. You felt like everyone just went off and had their own conversations, right? And you were like, wait a minute, but I can't follow everyone. What am I going to do?
And it's amazing they put that detail in the game, but like that with you and Far Cry 3, going around and taking the time to actually soak up the world that they've created is probably, I mean, I think I've done that a lot now that I'm a bit older, but when I was younger, I was like, how true video game, I don't care how this is made and that was made. But now I'm like, wow, like this particular thing looks amazing, or that particular thing was voiced so well, or I can't believe they did this and it's not even a thing that they had to do or a thing that you had to see. They just put it in for your enjoyment in case you want to go and do that. You know?
I love that. I love exploring the depths of everything that they wanted to give you with the game. And so if I just have loads of time to put aside on Christmas, which we do over Christmas, you just like a quiet time by yourself, a couple of cups of tea, some bickies, and
you'll need more than a couple of cups of tea to get through Cyberpunk.
I think,
and doing all the side quests, mad thing.
No, that's. I think that's my ideal gaming Christmas. Is just something that I can really sink my teeth into.
Just get lost in it. Yeah,
it's almost a shame that I've pretty much beaten Cyberpunk by the time Christmas has come around. But I think I'm a fifth of the way through the main quest, and I've done.
So you got loads of stuff to do over
Yeah.
Christmas.
You've got loads of good
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
as well, because main stories are usually always way more involved than the side content.
It is actually impressive. Like some of the things you were talking about Red Dead Redemption, they put a lot of that into Cyberpunk. Like you'll be doing a very random side quest, and Johnny Silverhand will show up and like start commenting on stuff going on in the scene. It's like they got Keanu Reeves to record all this additional dialogue. He recorded so much for that game. There's so much motion capture of him, so much performances in the most obscure side quests.
What a guy.
Yeah,
Keanu Reeves, huh?
it adds so much flavor.
He's
This
just
guy.
do an
Well, come
episode.
on, don't give him too much credit. Mark Hamill did it first. Like I don't know if you saw like the Arkham Knight series.
Oh, listen, no. I'm not denying that Mark Hamill put in all the work, and Mark Hamill's a nice guy too.
No, right,
Keanu
just so
Reeves-
we know.
Keanu Reeves is a really nice guy. I love Keanu Reeves.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's me.
What did you, Craig? Christmas time, little Craig with his little slippers and his dressing gown, his cup of cocoa, running down the stairs to a game underneath the Christmas tree. What did Santa bring you?
So yeah, that's a great way of looking at it, and that's how I took your interpretation
Well,
of
look, it's
games
on the
at
same
Christmas.
page, huh?
We're on the same page, but kinda, because just in case I considered all possibilities, so
As you
I
should.
went with all.
Yeah.
So I'll break this down into three. I was going to talk maybe about games I got for Christmas and I enjoyed playing over the Christmas period. Then I was thinking about my favorite Christmas level in a video game. And the reason I went with that topic was because I was looking up my favorite Christmas video game and I could find nada, zilch, you know. So
Do you mean like a game that's based at Christmas, or just
no, a Christmas game that's set over Christmas. So
Right.
I found two,
Mhm.
and I guess I could open with those. And one was, I just talked about the Arkham series, and I
Yes.
hate talking about Arkham Origins because it's by a different studio and it's the worst by far. But that one was set on Christmas Eve, like, you know, so it is a very Christmassy type
And
game.
for our listeners who might not know the Arkham series, who's it based on?
Who's it based on? Sorry,
Yeah, like I mean, who's our main man?
it's Batman.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I hadn't even said the word Batman
Yeah.
yet. Oh my god, yeah.
Batman.
Yeah.
Well, Arkham, for anyone who you
Yes.
know has watched the podcast and stuff before. So with the Arkham games, I was just thinking, no, I can't talk about that one, and I've kind of ruined that by admitting to that here on air. But the other Christmas game I had thought about was the Home Alone video game,
Whoa.
which I had for the Sega Mega Drive.
There's a Home Alone video game.
It was a Home Alone video game. Yeah, I
No
think it came
idea.
out for like the SNES or NES or whatever. But I had a Sega Mega Drive version of it. And it was actually a really, really enjoyable game where like you had an open world, which was, I say open world, but it's just like 5 houses on a street.
Yeah,
You know? Well, like
yeah.
there's like one house on each street, and literally you would, I think you have like 2 days to stop the robbers from robbing all the houses. So you have to go into each house ahead of the robbers and start setting up your traps.
Oh,
You know,
that's
so you can't
good.
actually beat them. You just have to delay them enough until the cops show up.
I'm sorry.
Right.
What did we say? What console? What?
It was a
era?
Sega Mega Drive, so
Sega
it's
Mega
probably
Drive.
before. Some people call it the Sega Genesis or whatever, but
yeah,
here
that's what it's
in
called in the
Europe,
States, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
called the Sega Mega Drive. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna call
I'm
it
not gonna
anything
bow
else.
down to
I'm not gonna
those
bow to someone else. Chris isn't here, and
Americans.
even if it
How dare
was,
they.
it doesn't matter. But that was a kind of enjoyable game. I played a couple of times and then just forgot about until I googled it today and went, "Oh, look, there's a Christmas game."
That's what I remember.
But I was looking through the
But
list
this
of Christmas
is, that-
games and I
that's
found
a game
nothing.
that's purely based at Christmas time, which is
Yeah.
why you've selected that one. Okay,
Mhm.
all right.
So I'm not going to talk about that anymore because I don't even know if what I've said thus far is accurate. That's what I remember,
Okay.
but that's 25 years.
And if he's wrong, guys, remember, email us at thegiftedgamingpodcast@gmail.com.
I'm pretty
And
sure
let-
it's
let
mostly
Craig
right
know
now.
how wrong he might have been. But yeah,
Yeah,
just keep
But
it
it
straight.
was a good game because if the bad guys caught you, they'd grab you and like put you up on a hook on the wall, just like in the movie, do you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
where
yeah.
So it was pretty cool to see, and you could trank them, knock them out, hit them over the head with things. It was quite fun. But moving on, because I don't want to give Arkham whatever any more time.
Okay,
I
ouch.
thought I would talk about my favorite games over the Christmas period. So I was just thinking back, like 97, 98, 99. Like, which game did I have the most fun with over that Christmas 2 weeks playing?
Yeah.
And I came up with a few, and I just remember because from 1996, I got GoldenEye and Mario Kart.
Oh man, what a
You know,
what a
Because my birthday's quite close to Christmas, so my godmother was like, oh, "Okay, I'll get you this." So it was just like the ultimate
So
Christmas.
the Christmas hype was real that year.
GoldenEye and Christmas that year. But because I was splitting between both games, I can't really decide which one I would talk about, so I won't. So that was 1996.
Okay, fine, yeah.
1997, I got Forsaken, but that's not in any way like a Christmas game or anything like that, and it wasn't even a particularly good game. 1999, I got Smash Brothers.
I mean,
I could talk about
think
that
at
for
point-
days, so
yeah,
I won't.
I think enough said. For
Enough
1998.
said for that.
There will
like,
definitely
you know?
be a probably at this rate a 3-parter.
I'm sure I'll circle back to
Smash
Smash
Brothers.
Brothers talk at some
Yeah.
point in the future.
No doubt.
At 2000, I got Majora's Mask. That was really, really good. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that one. 2001, I got Pokemon Gold. Just for people
Nice.
listening, I had got Pokemon Silver 3 months prior to that, so that's not me choosing Gold. That's me getting Gold second.
I'm sorry. Is there a general consensus out there that Silver's
Well,
the
Silver
better?
had Lugia and Gold had Ho-Ho. And for me, Lugia was just the easy choice. Like,
Oh,
you know.
Yeah.
okay.
Same.
Yeah. Fair.
In 2002, I had Mario Kart Double Dash, and that was absolutely amazing.
Baby Park, man.
Baby Park,
and Double
yeah,
Dash.
yeah,
That's all
and
I
Double
wanted
Dash
to do.
And Dino Jungle, which here's hoping they bring that one back for the Mario Kart DLCs that they've been
Yes.
releasing. As of the third update, it's not there, unfortunately.
But it's still-
But we've
it's
got
still-
3 more
Yeah, okay,
updates
yeah, there's
to
plenty
get
of
that
time.
Dino
They-
Jungle.
Like at this stage with the amount of tracks in it, it'll have to be. I can't imagine what won't make the cut. With
Exactly.
How many choices are out
I
there?
mean, right?
Yeah.
They should. So that was 2002, and I was almost going to really talk about this for ages because it was one of those cases where the day I got it, all my family, my cousins and stuff like that all came over, and I've tried a couple of years prior. 1999 it was when I got Smash Brothers, as I just said. I had tried to get all my friends and family to play Smash Brothers with me, but they take one look at the screen, see all the chaos, and go, no.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
That's too
It's
heavy
just
for
a
me,
little
thank you.
overwhelming. Whereas with Mario Kart Double Dash, everyone instantly wanted to play.
Yeah.
You know, so my entire family
got the
were
format.
palling around, and we were doing. They haven't done it since, but there was a 2-player mechanic in Double Dash where like 2 people could ride in one cart. So you could play a 2-player, one driving and one controlling the weapons. But
yeah.
they could also swing your car left and right to punch
help you,
people.
yeah.
Like, it was really, really cool. They haven't done anything like that since, but that was really, really good. 2003 was Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, which was a great game, but not very
You have a
Christmassy.
phenomenal memory.
No, I wrote these down earlier.
I see.
I couldn't. But looking back, these are the only ones I could remember, and they're all in a row of about 10 years. After 2004, I could not tell you one. I'm like 1996, 2004. I just knew them all. But
Your
after
brain
that,
just
I was
works
like,
in reverse.
yeah. I just remember all the childhood glory,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
everything recently.
Everything, all the sad.
Once you grow
things
up, it
that
doesn't
happen as an
matter,
adult.
like,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And 2004 was Tales of Symphonia, another great game.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I don't want to spend too much time on all of those. I don't know if you guys know this, but I left 1 year blank while I was talking.
2003,
No, it was
1990.
8.
1998. Yes, 2003 was Metroid Prime 2.
Sorry,
So
okay.
for those listening, you got the little tidbit. It was 1998, and that was the year I got my hamster Gizmo, but also the year I got Body Harvest for the Nintendo 64. I don't know if anyone has even heard of this
I
game.
have not even. I don't even know what
But
that
Body
is.
Harvest was made by a company called DMS, known today as Rockstar North.
Oh.
So I don't know if people remember, but the jump between Grand Theft Auto 2 and Grand Theft Auto 3 is probably one of the greatest leaps in video game history.
Yeah, it was,
like
it was a very big
the
deal.
difference is night and day. I remember going to buy that game with my cousin, and I was a big, massive Nintendo fan at the time, and he showed me the box for GTA 3, and I remember just telling him, "That's impossible.
That's not what
That's
it's
a cutscene."
Speaking of, that is on my list. GTA 3 will have a small little piece on my list of Christmas games. But
Oh,
get
will
to
it?
that.
Will
Yeah,
it? Very
yeah,
good. Well, I
yeah.
won't spend too much time on it, but that was Body Harvest was the game the company did between GTA 2 and GTA 3.
Oh, wow. Right.
So they were working on it since I think 1995. Again, I looked all this up today. I would never have known any of this.
Okay, yeah, good, good.
So-
Thank you for the clarity.
Like even before the Nintendo 64 was being made, these guys were making it, and you know they had never worked with the N64 before, so graphically they had to make sure it could handle it. So
Yeah.
graphically the game is quite poor because you know they were playing it safe. But I don't know if anyone's played Starship Troopers, but Body Harvest is very much like the aliens like that are quite similar, and the main character you play as looks like a Starship Trooper, except he's in orange.
Oh, okay.
Or Master Chief. You could say he looks like Master Chief.
Yeah.
But the plot of Body Harvest is absolutely amazing. Set in the future, 2015.
Oh, wow.
That's
You're
the
like,
future.
Earth,
God, that didn't come to pass.
Thank God it didn't come to pass. But Earth has been wiped out by these aliens,
All right.
and you're humanity's last hope. It says in 15, you're aboard this space station where you've built a time machine, and you're going back to these points in time to stop the aliens from, you know, doing too much damage to Earth and destroying us for good. So in a deadly cutscene, the aliens attack you in the spaceship. They shoot you in the arm, and you see blood, which was crazy for Nintendo. And then all of a sudden, you're thrown into this third-person shooter, open world sandbox where you had over 60 vehicles. You had planes, you had helicopters, you had bikes, you had everything that you would associate with Grand Theft Auto 3 today.
Yeah.
But back then, that was like just hopping into a motorbike or a vehicle. Like, unfortunately, the character didn't open the door and step in. He just would always somersault into the vehicle, regardless of where the door is. Like, you know, it was just this little animation that they would do. It was hilarious to see. But Body Harvest was this third-person shooter game where you just ran around shooting up aliens. It very much felt like an arcade game because the aliens were constantly abducting humans, and this meter would fill up, and you had to like get the meter down, kind of like Crazy Taxi, one of those games. You have to get the meter down in order to move on to the next area. So it felt kind of arcadey, but it was a third-person shooter with loads of video games, a great story, 5 separate time zones. So you're aboard these like King Kong style planes shooting things down in like 1915, which is one of the first places you go in Cuba or something like that, and then it goes to like the USA in the 60s, and then in Siberia in the 90s, and then in the future in 2060, like you're fighting the aliens on their home planet. But for anyone looking for an old gem, an old classic on the N64, Body Harvest is the one. And that was the game I played.
Did you ever hear that?
No, I've never heard of it. That sounds, I really want to look it up now.
Yeah, I kind of want to see what it is.
But just for the historical, like if you look at that game, play it for a few minutes, you'll just go, okay, now I see exactly how they went from GTA 2 to GTA 3. It's like the road stop in the middle.
Yeah, it was their stepping stone to get there. That's really interesting. For the N64 as well.
For Nintendo 64,
As you said, Nintendo in blood. Wow. What a time to be alive.
It was crazy because the developers went to Japan because Nintendo were like, here, we got to get this game going. And the developers were with Shigeru Miyamoto and a bunch of other Japanese developers. And they took them out for, you know, food or whatever like this. And the developer was so nervous sitting in front of Shigeru Miyamoto. And he had like, these are Scottish lads. They didn't really like eat very well on that type of. They weren't cultured, is what I'm saying. Like they weren't used to being flown to Japan. Exactly. Yeah. So like one of the guys, he had ordered a bowl of beef, and it was just a few pieces of beef in basically like blood sauce. And you know, he has these chopsticks and he's trying to pick them up and eat, and like he just it falls out of the chopstick, lands in the bowl, and blood splatters all over Shigeru Miyamoto.
Oh my god.
Like right all over him in his face and stuff like that. I mean, I watched the video on it earlier and I thought that was absolutely hilarious because then the guy is panicking and a beer arrives at the table and like it's for Shigeru Miyamoto, but it's put in front of him. And he just instinctively panics and drinks the beer, and mid-drink he's looking at Shigeru Miyamoto and thinking, he ordered that for himself.
No. But they still managed to get the game across, right?
Well, no, because Nintendo actually pulled out of the deal, and another company published the game in the end, like, you know. But it still came out for the Nintendo 64, you know. But it was in development hell for years.
Could you imagine your big moment? This is it, like a big moment. I'm going to sell this game to Mr. Nintendo himself.
Yeah.
And you make a big. You cock it up.
But apparently it wasn't down to all of that. It was really, Nintendo had reservations. They like were getting hammered by Final Fantasy and all these other RPGs, and they tried to introduce a bunch of RPG elements into the game, which you can still see because there's a lot of like RPG moments when you like walk into a house and you can talk to people or hit switches and things like that. Okay. And you get that kind of RPG vibe, which was added by that discussion with Miyamoto. Yeah. So dropping the beef into the blood wasn't a total waste. You had some nice elements that were carried over with the Japanese developers. But that was a game, like, barring Playing With My Hamster, that was a really good game over Christmas that I have just such fond memories for. And because I'd watched Starship Troopers quite recently, either on video or cinema or whatever, I was loving it, you know.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Christmas games. A bloody what, Body Harvest?
Body Harvest,
Body Harvest, Body Harvest game for Christmas. Yeah. That's what you want.
So on my third scenario, if we have time,
of course, fire away.
I was thinking of talking about my favorite Christmas level in a video game.
Okay, good. I have a few of them. Yeah,
you do.
Well, just like
that's what I thought I'd be able to talk about.
Yeah, it's a very quick nod I have to it, but yes.
So the thing I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to play it on my phone here, for people to be able to listen along. This won't play over your speaker thing. No, so it's fine. So if anyone's listening in, if they can just go to YouTube, Freeze Easy Peak, Main Banjo-Kazooie Music, and hit play. And then if you want, you can listen along to what we're going to listen along to. And if not, then it doesn't matter.
Okay, let's have a...
So I've rambled enough. That should have given them enough time to go to YouTube.
To go to YouTube?
So I'm going to hit play. It's possible some people have the add, do not skip thing. So I'm just going to waste another 5 seconds here. Darren, what's that over there?
Yeah. What? Oh, yeah. Wow. What?
That should do. Oh, just kidding, man. It's all good.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
All right, that should be enough. So like the ad should have been skipped and play. So you guys can hear that now. People at home
I'll
probably
try
can't.
and move it up a little bit here. I don't think the mic's picking that up at all.
No, it doesn't need to. But like that is just a great music track that starts the second the Freeze Easy Peak starts in Banjo-Kazooie level.
Right.
And it just, for me, encompasses so much about Christmas. Like a new instrument added to the mix, and it's just starting to build and build and build. But in this game, the second you go into the level, you immediately see an igloo, and there's a bunch of polar bears inside, and they're sad because they don't have their Christmas presents. So you immediately have to go out and chase after their Christmas presents, like, you know. So you go outside the igloo, you go down the hill, and you see their deadbeat dad who's all like bloaty, and it's just like, oh, I shouldn't have drank too much last night. And then you hear this, for those listening at home, you have the bells coming in, very Christmassy, very Christmassy, very Christmassy.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
But we don't need that, but for people listening along, it'll make this segment
So,
just
sorry, just so they can get it again, it's called Freeze Easy Peak. The main Banjo-Kazooie music from that level.
The name
Give it a
Banjo.
listen and get that Christmas.
But the reason
spirit.
it's such a good level, and Banjo-Kazooie is just such a great game in the meantime, but like in that level, it's just a massive Christmas tree surrounded by all sorts of Christmas-like things. So you have like a walrus who just wants to be left alone because you're a bear and he doesn't want to be eaten by you. You have the polar bear family who are looking out for their they're trying to get their presents for Christmas. You have their deadbeat dad who's like passed out around the corner, and then you have all these little Christmas-like critters that are trying to get to the Christmas tree to restart Christmas, but there's like all these little villain chomp things that like stopping them from getting there, you know. So you have to deal with them to light up the Christmas tree. Then you have to take your new like power wing mechanic to fly around the Christmas tree and defeat all these like evil snowmen who are like lobbing snowballs at you, you know. So it really encompasses kind of everything about Christmas. You have the music, you have like sled races, you have collecting the little jiggy pieces, you know, typical banjo
and
fashion.
Was Banjo-Kazooie out near Christmas at all? Or was
no, I think it actually came out in March. But, but that is a game that like it just has such a great Christmas level. Yeah. And it's not even a case of like it's an ice level, because you play most video games and you associate ice levels with you slipping all over the place, and it's crap, you know, it's terrible. Whereas in this, there's no slippiness. It's just we have some snowmen bad guys, we have a Christmas tree, we've got some polar bears for you to save. Just go out there and have a good time, like, you know.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
And it is with the music and everything. We were just listening. Banjo-Kazooie is just an absolutely incredible game.
It's a game I need to go back to and play for sure. We got a lend of. We never had a Nintendo 64, but my brother's friend was the Nintendo guy.
The Nintendo guy.
Like that's back when I used to originally play Smash Bros. was with my brother's friend, and he gave us then the Nintendo 64 at times. So we would play like Jet Force Gemini, Banjo-Kazooie. But I remember Banjo-Kazooie just being just like a lovely, well thought out, funny kind of game.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this got lots of voice acting and stuff like that. So, I mean, I played Mario 64 and then I played Banjo-Kazooie, and I was just like, this is just so much better.
Yeah,
I love it so much more. You know, it's just that friendly family vibe that you associate with Christmas.
Well, gentlemen, my Christmas, little Darren Comes. Actually, you know, before I get to the actual the big Christmas story, I'm going to give some honorable mentions here. Some games that I like to play at Christmas time. Kind of multiplayer, family friendly kind of games. The first one, just because we all love a Christmas where you just fall out with your family, you know. Tensions get high, you're all cooped up in the house trying to be friends. Overcooked as a multiplayer game, because they have like the festive DLC packs. I'd sit there with my sister and my brothers, and I mean,
if you weren't going to fight, you definitely will now.
Yeah. But I love Overcooked as a game, as a concept of a game. It's so much fun as multiplayer games go. I'm like, yes, this is what I want from a multiplayer game. So yeah, Overcooked always gets, because it's one that comes out every year, and a lot of the picks that I have on my list are games that like they crop back up at Christmas time because we've enjoyed playing them, and that's kind of the only time we're all together again. So like, hey, we'll bang out Overcooked and shout at each other for 40 minutes. What do you say? I'm like, well, that sounds wonderful. What a Christmas game. Other games that I have that I loved at Christmas time would have been Tekken. Tekken was always we would play Tekken.
Which one specifically? Or
so I have two. I have two, right?
Them?
I have Tekken 7, because that actually has a frosty kind of Christmassy level. with I think like a kind of a winter town in the background and kind of some like funky kind of Christmas music. And then Tekken Tag Tournament 2, because that has a snowy level in the woods.
I like what you did there.
I didn't know there was a Tekken Tag Tournament 2.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No idea.
So I mean, Tekken was the thing that would always come back, but these were our two choices of games. We'd always go for either of those two because they had Christmas-ish kind of levels.
Yeah.
And by Christmas
If you
levels,
say
I
so,
mean
Darren.
cold levels. They've got levels that there's snow in it. But
They
for
have
me, that's
ice where you
Christmas.
slip.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. The thing we all hated. No, so that would be another one, and that's again because it's like we'd pick up the controllers, myself and my brothers, play a few games, you know, after the Christmas dinner on Christmas Day, or like Christmas morning when you get up and again, I'm the youngest brother, so I'd always have to wait. You know, my two brothers would play Tekken.
Wait
and
your
they'd be
turn,
like,
yeah.
Jim, so young, we'll play Tekken. And I would play, and I'd be awful. But those would be two choices as well. I'm trying to think what else I have here. Oh yeah, okay. This one was one that was got for me. I think kind of. I wanted it back from like October, November. It was out for a while, but it was gotten for me at Christmas. And going back to Crash Bandicoot and Spyro and the stuff that we talked about before, I don't know if you guys ever remember the multiplayer Crash Bandicoot game for the PS1, Crash Bash.
Yeah.
Wow, never heard of that.
Oh yeah. No,
So here's an interesting
Yeah.
thing. So I was looking up Crash Bash again recently. So it's basically there's loads of like mini games. Think of like all the Mario Party kind of mini games, and you've got those kind of things, but in a Crash Bandicoot kind of world.
Okay, so the same but bad.
well, it's not a board game format.
Yes, it's just the mini games.
like keeping score with the mini games
Yeah.
and teams.
And you say that but bad, but Crash Bash and it's one of those things where I looked at like the Insane trilogy of Crash Bandicoot being remade or remastered, and I was like, they have to do Crash Bash because it was, and it's not just my nostalgia as a kid, as mini games and things go, as like party games go, that was top quality. And the interesting thing about it was you could finally play as some like interesting Crash Bandicoot characters. My choice was Dingo Dial. Like back in the first
I
time you
do
could play
love
as
that.
him.
Remember that
Yeah.
you played Dingo?
Yeah, you had Tiny, and you play as Crash and Brains and
Ripperoo.
Nitro and Coco, and it was the first time they introduced all of these characters just to pick in a Mario Party. And some of the games would be, there'd be a big ice platform. We're going Christmas theme here. Big ice platform that, yes, it is Slippy. And you're on the little polar bears that you would have been riding in Crash Bandicoot 2 or 3, I can't remember. And it's all this thing where you have to run at each other and ram the other person to knock everybody off the ice, and everybody's slipping, and it's all a bit mental. But one of my all-time favorite games in it was you would all have pogo sticks, and each pogo stick would be color-coded, and you'd be going along this square arena, and you had to just fill up the thing with your color within the time. And it sounds so simple, but like playing that with my brothers when I was like, oh God, I can't even think of what year, like maybe I was 11 or 12 when I was really playing that heavily. It was, or even younger still, it was such a great game. They had like pinball bumper cars in it and all those kind of fun things. But that for me as a memory, as a Christmas memory, is great because that was one that we would.
Yeah, those party games always
And
leave
it was
a stamp like that.
for PlayStation 1. So we had like, you know, the old L-shaped multi-tap.
Oh, I forgot about the L-shaped multi.
They had that for the PS1 as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
the multi-tap. Yeah, and it was, again, I only remember that when you said it was L-shaped.
It was L-shaped, yeah. So this like thing to stick so for those who don't know, PlayStation 1 only had 2 controller ports. Crash Bash was 1 to 4 players, and in order to get there were 4 people playing, you had to buy this thing called the multi-tap, which is still a funny name actually. I don't know why they call it the multi-tap. But it had this port for 4 controllers, but it was in this weird L shape, like a funny design for a product at
I
the
think
time.
the PS2 one was just a rectangle,
It was
wasn't
just
it?
a rectangle, yeah,
Yeah.
just like a black rectangle. Like
Yes.
made way more sense in terms of like storage and all that kind of stuff.
Maybe it was just a wiring thing that they needed the space to be able to.
That's how
There
they
you go, yeah.
configured it. So that'd be a great game. But if we're gonna go talk about like little Darren getting up, you know, so there was this wonderful Christmas we had, and it was the year the PlayStation 2 came out. I can't think off the top of my head what year that was. But we woke up, myself and my brothers, and we went down the stairs. If anyone wants to check that out in the meantime, we can go
2001.
for it. Okay, are you
I'm just gonna
you're
hope
gonna
I'm
throw it
right.
out there? Okay.
I said it with
I think-
confidence, so I assume I'm
I'm going to say 2000.
Okay, all right. So if anybody else out there wants to email us at thegiftofgamingpodcast@gmail.com and tell us who's right or if they're both wrong.
and it
that'd
has to
great.
be in Europe because obviously that was when you played.
Yes, Europe. Yes, Ireland.
So Japanese
specifically.
release doesn't count because that's probably a year or two earlier.
Yeah, but we came down Christmas morning, myself and my 2 brothers and my sister, of course, the whole family. We came down, and there underneath the Christmas tree, and what a glorious Christmas it was the PlayStation 2, right? You know, just there.
What game
But-
did you get there?
So there was 3 games. There was Crazy Taxi, there was GTA 3,
Oh my god!
and the game that I really want to talk to you guys about, which has just lived on, and what was born out of this game was just a decade or decade and a half of me playing this series, Dynasty Warriors 3.
That's 3 good games.
Yeah.
Well, kind of, because I would have thought GTA 3 made Crazy Taxi immediately obsolete.
So funny thing about it was, so this is the interesting thing about the PS2, because we brought it upstairs into our room and we connected it into the TV, and it was like, wow, what will we play first? My God. And I think my brothers knew something about Crazy Taxi, and we all knew that GTA existed, and we'll get to GTA 3 in a minute. But what's this Dynasty Wars? What's this like Chinese Three Kingdom at War style game here? We've never seen anything like this. You don't put it on, and there it is, the sound effects of the PlayStation 2, turn it on. I was like, whoa. And for me, graphically, not just GTA 3, coming from GTA 2, that graphic improvement, but I think from the PlayStation 1 to the PlayStation 2 era, in my opinion, is still the greatest jump in graphics.
I agree.
So seeing like Dynasty Wars, and it was this thing, it was the fog of war, and this game existed like really heavily, so you could hardly see that far in front of you. But there I was playing as Lu Xun, like the Wu strategist. Look up your Chinese history, guys. Right, this stuff gets really, really good. But there I was playing, and I was going around Hulao Gate, in the snow, fighting off all these enemies. But as a game that I'd never played before, that arcadey, that's done by W Force and Koei Tecmo, I can't remember the other guys, but they've done loads of them. I mean, there's like 10 of them out now or whatever. But I remember playing that game as a kid and being an absolute... Oh, and I was sitting there, in my dressing gown, cozy little Darren, and you're doing Hulao Gate, which was a battle in the snow, in the snowy region of whatever part of China this was, and fighting off all these guys. I'm like, oh my God, this game is amazing. And we bought Dynasty Warriors 4, and we bought Dynasty Warriors 5, and we bought 6, and then I went to see Redcliffe when it came into the cinema, which was all about the fight for the Three Kingdoms in ancient China. It was just... It had me, and like even when I was in school, all my projects, like all the projects that we do when I was in the transition year and everything we did, and for those outside of Ireland, transition year is just kind of this like fun year you have in school. We just did like, I just did like all my war projects on like the Wu and the Wei and the Shu kingdoms fighting for dominance. It completely took over my brain for the best part of 5 or 6 years, and I could not get enough of these stories, these battles, these whatever else. But it all stemmed from that wonderful Christmas where I woke up and there it was. I can even picture the box and the colour in the box and everything, and the beautiful writing, Dynasty Warriors 3. And then we played that, like, God, that was amazing. And then we turned on GTA 3, and I was like, well, this is the greatest game that ever existed.
Nobody had ever played anything as good as GTA 3 until they played GTA 3.
And I remember, again, it's these memories of like being at home at Christmas, stuffed after dinner and watching my brother play GTA 3. And just the idea that you could walk into some buildings, like there'd just be just that graphical improvement, especially in GTA 2, which I would have played. I shouldn't have, obviously I was way younger than 18, but GTA 2 I would have played, I think, at my cousin's house or something. We saw that top down GTA. I was like, wow, this game is a lot of fun. And part of me would still love to go back and play those games because they had a real nice character about them as well.
Appeal, yeah.
But GTA 3, like that graphical improvement was absolutely mental.
And just to harken back to something that we talked about at the start of the podcast, how could a generation like ours, who we kind of came online playing games like GTA 2 and stuff like that, and then very quickly discovered that like Dynasty Warriors and GTA 3 was possible, how could we not expect the modern Pokemon game to be able to run as a normal functioning game?
Yeah.
Like the leap between GTA 2 and GTA 3 is a bigger leap than all of Pokemon's history combined. Even till now.
Which is so sad because
and
there's
yet
so much potential.
The companies probably earn similar book for their games type of thing, you know what I mean? Like
I mean, I know
Nintendo had every bit as much money, or Game Freak has every bit as much money as Rockstar. They made Body Harvest and that flopped, so they were in a bad place when GTA 3 came out. You know?
Eventually,
So why would we not expect those big jumps? But yeah, that's going to be a nice Christmas morning. That's going to be very.
It was, and it was just special because it was the PS2. There was kind of a game for each of us. I mean, I claimed, I don't know who Dynasty Warriors 3 was meant for, but I claimed the shit out of that game. That was my game, and I played it for years. But I want to give an honorable mention, and I couldn't talk about it here. This isn't the appropriate place to talk about this, but I'm going to give you the release date of this game, and I'm going to see if you guys can guess what it is. December 22nd, 2005. 3 days before Christmas 2005, a game released that forever changed my life. What do you guys think it might have been?
I know exactly what game that is.
Oh yeah? Do you want Luke, do you have any ideas before Craig gives the answer?
Will I guess before Craig?
Go for it, yeah. What do you got?
Because I don't know. It wasn't Kingdom Hearts, was it?
Oh, Kingdom Hearts 2, Luke.
Kingdom Hearts 2.
I knew that.
Yeah, sorry. Well, I mean, the points go to you, Craig. Actually, we should have tested you because now I know.
Because I was thinking in my head, I bet Luke
it
says Kingdom Hearts 1, and I was just in my head, no, that was a couple of years before.
No, Kingdom Hearts 2, and that would be my top in this conversation, but that's not enough to give that game. The Kingdom Hearts series, the Kingdom Hearts games, if we go and do a podcast about our top games, that's where I need to have the Kingdom Hearts 2 conversation, not here.
You
It was
could
the
have
game-
shoehorned it in with the Jack Skellington, level.
So I have notes here, right? I have notes here talking about Kingdom Hearts 2 and why I would have included it as an honorable mention. And the two things I have here are it's the greatest game and Nightmare Before Christmas.
It's the greatest
the
game.
greatest game.
Those are my 2 points, but I couldn't talk about it here because I need so much more time. But as an honorable mention, it was literally a game that came out 3 days before Christmas. It was waiting for me in its silver box at the bottom of the Christmas tree that year. And boy, oh boy, did I play the absolute shit out of that game for years. I'm still going back and like finishing it every now and then today, But yeah, so those were our Christmas games. Be that they have a Christmas level in them, that they remind us of Christmas, or they just have that Christmassy feeling.
Or all the above.
Yeah, and if you listeners out there have any Christmas games that you like to play at Christmas, that you got at Christmas, or games that you love that have Christmas levels in them, be sure to let us know at thegiftofgamingpodcast@gmail.com. I finally memorized it. Thank God.
You said that so quickly as well. It was great.
Yeah. You just listen back. I'm not going to say it slower. That's all you get. So, guys, Luke, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks, Darren. Thanks for having
Greg,
us.
thanks for being here.
Thanks for
I
having
hope
me,
you guys have
It's a pleasure.
a very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
According
Merry
to all our
Christmas.
listeners as well. I hope you guys have a lovely Christmas too. And we'll be back. I think our next episode is out probably the 4th of January. We're going to take a little bit of a Christmas break. Miss a week, but we'll catch you guys back on the 4th of January with mystery topic. It's because I haven't thought about it yet.
Did you nearly say hiatus there as well?
I almost said hiatus, but that's a terrible choice of words. No, we're just having a Christmas break. So
It's a
Oh my God, it's already in flux.
teeny tiny hiatus.
Yeah, teeny tiny one. But listen, thanks for listening, everybody. Craig, Luke, thanks for being here, and we'll catch you guys on the next podcast.
Bye bye.
Peace out, guys.
Thanks very much.